I've got the Royal Enfield 750 Series 2 Interceptor engine coming along quite well. I had hoped by this stage to have the cylinder heads fitted. Indeed, yesterday I was going to do an extra couple of hours and get the cylinder heads on and set the valve clearances and so on. But I ran into a problem. I've got the cylinder heads all sorted out. Excuse me. They got new valves and guides in them, and the valves are ground in and seated. Everything's good, ready to go, and obviously the heads were blasted clean as well. They look good. I got as far as fitting the cross ring, it's called. You don't have a head gasket as such. These are like a sort of triangular section, sort of piston ring, which are ground and machined to a perfect fit in that chamfered recess in the top of the liner there, in the top of the bore rather. And when they're pressed in, and the ends, like the ends of a piston ring, butt up, there's just a small sort of protrusion above this face here, and they actually just form a very tight fit against the face of the head there, and that seals your compression. So I've got them anyway. You have to change them. If you get a rebore, you have to change them. You have to get oversized cross rings to suit the size of the bore, so that the pistons don't clip them going over top dead centre, by the way. But we stayed on standard bore. The bores were good. The pistons were good. I got new rings. Genuine. New old stock Hepalite ones. Not the rather dodgy sort of replica stuff that seems to be about in abundance these days. I'm pretty sure that this is all the old original stuff, and they're all fitted. And let's see, yes, because you've even got the address, look. Anyway, new piston rings fitted, bores are good, pistons are good, and I thought that I'd get the push rods in place and fit one of the cylinder heads. And then I thought I'd check. I got a gasket set. I bought a gasket set. In fact, I bought a timing cover gasket separately a while back so that I get the timing cover on. And then I thought, well, I'm going to need base gaskets. I'm going to need tappet cover gaskets. I might as well order a gasket set, because I'll also need the little rubber seals that fit in here to seal the pushrod tunnels. So I bought a complete gasket set. Lo and behold, it didn't contain any of these seals. Got everything else. Base gaskets were in it, and a timing cover gasket. And in fact, there's 4 cylinder base gaskets in case I'd wanted to use the very, very thin and rather pointless cylinder barrel spacers there. I decided not to bother with those. We don't need them. I built plenty of these without them, and they've worked fine. But I came to a stop because I didn't have these. This is one of the old ones, and they're just a sort of plasticky sort of rubber sort of seal that fits in there. And then when you tighten the heads down, obviously they crush and seal the oil. And I was rather miffed to find out that this gasket set contains all sorts of fibre washers and sealing washers and God knows what in a little packet there. There are all sorts of banjo unions and drain plugs and whatever, but nowhere were there the 4 of these. I looked online, and these are available separately, and they're nearly £4 each. Well, I'm not so worried about the £4 each, but it would have been a major help, even if the gasket set had been a bit more expensive, to find these in the set, because I can't understand why you'd have cylinder base gaskets, rocker cover gaskets, but right in between that lot you need these seals in order to put the heads on anyway. So that put me a day behind, and I ordered 4 of these yesterday afternoon. Too late for them to come today, but I've got enough to get on with anyway. I'm going to rebuild all the primary drive and the clutch and so on, and check the ignition auto advance unit, and if that's all in order I'll fit and time that and so on, so I can get all that side of it done. But it was just a bit of a disappointment, as I had hoped to get the cylinder heads on and get all the valve clearances done, things like that, but not to be. Thanks to these not coming in a gasket set, which seems to me to be a rather strange thing. Even if it meant charging a bit more for the gasket set to include them, I would have thought that might have made sense, but hey ho. Anyway, primary drive it is, and then ignition auto advance and so on and so forth, and we'll just wait for the Royal Mail to do its stuff, when 4 of these will hopefully turn up, and then we can get the cylinder heads on and get the job finished.